How are all you lovely people doing today? My name is John, and welcome to the next episode in a series I like to call the Top 5 Ways. In this series, we take a look at zombie maps and we try to see how we can turn them into something amazing. Last week, we took a look at the top 5 ways to improve Rook, although today what we're going to do is take a look at the top 5 ways to improve Numa. Without further ado, let's begin. Number 5, it would probably be for the better if we patched the flogger glitch. If you don't know, you can actually activate both sides of the flogger independently. As a result, when one side completes its cycle, while the trap is cooling down, you can actually go ahead and power the other side of the flogger. As a result, you could keep the flogger running infinitely. Now this is a glitch that everybody uses, including myself. Anybody who makes a high round run on Numa almost always uses this flogger glitch. And of course, there is a little bit of balancing to it because every time you pay for the flogger, you are actually spending some of your points despite it not actually appearing on the trap that you are buying it. So there is a little bit of a balance to it, and it probably would be for the better if we patch this glitch so that people aren't always taking advantage of it. Moving on to the number 4 spot, and this is going to be fairly controversial. I wish we could remove dogs from Numa. In my opinion, I don't feel they fit with the zombie map very well. If we think about it, dogs were first created in Deriz, and Deriz was where many of Group 935's experiments were held. It only makes sense that we see the dogs in Deriz, and maybe Keener der Toten considering they have teleporters there, and they do sort of have some links between the maps. But Numa, while it is a Group 935 research facility, I feel it doesn't make sense for the dogs to be there. I don't know, they just don't really fit in with the environment, nor do they fit in with the story. Now of course, but when Numa was created, there hadn't even been a story conceived, although I'm just not a big fan. In my opinion, they don't really belong here. Moving on to the number 3 spot, I wish Treyarch did something to improve this zipline. The zipline is nice and all, but I feel it wasn't implemented into the map very well. As you'll see here, I blame this zipline for the downfall of my game. There was a zombie who got glitched in the zipline. I tried to kill him, but I just couldn't quite get any ray gun shots on him. In addition, it sort of left me stranded in the middle of the swamp without many points, and I'm not a big fan of the zipline in this map. I think Treyarch could have done a far better job implementing it into the map, and in fact, the zipline can even down you, and I feel that does need to be fixed. We've reached the number 2 spot, and this is also going to be controversial. I wish the perks didn't teleport into the map at random spots. I wish things were far more predictable and I knew where the perks were going every time. I hate this idea of aimlessly wandering around the map hoping I get Juggernog, and you know what? What always happens is my final perk is Juggernog, and I find that quite annoying. Now, there are some days where I get lucky and my first perk is Juggernog, although for the most part, I always get Juggernog last, and it's frustrating. I wish I knew exactly where the perks were so that I can go there and properly plan out a strategy. Things shouldn't be random. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of our list, and the number 1 way to improve Numa would be to take the Peter McCain Easter egg iOS grave and port that over to the console version of Numa. If you don't know, when playing the iOS World at War zombie game, you can enter Numa and actually dig up Peter McCain's grave once you've opened up every door on the map. Digging up his grave would reward you 1 Wonder Waff. This is a pretty cool Easter egg, although I'd like to see it ported and expanded onto the consoles. Here's what I'm thinking. You can complete different tasks around the map, and completing those tasks would actually reward you different parts of the shovel, so maybe the handle, the shaft, and the actual shovel part that digs into the ground. You can then go up to a workbench and craft a shovel. Once you've crafted that shovel, you can use it as a melee weapon as well as a way to dig up Peter McCain's grave, which would reward you a Wonder Waff. I think this would be a pretty cool Easter egg to implement into the map, and we've seen it in the iOS version, and personally I think it is pretty sweet. That's about it for this week's episode of the top 5 ways to improve Shi No Numa. If you enjoyed it, liked it, or found it interesting, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, or favorite. Either will help my channel and I'd greatly appreciate it. Last episode we took a look at the top 5 ways to improve Varrook, and many of you guys left some great suggestions to improve the map. Now of course, if you would like to see yourself in the next episode of the top 5 ways, what you should do is tell me down in the comments below how you would improve Shi No Numa. You may see yourself in the next episode. Like I said, last episode we did the top 5 ways to improve Varrook, and some of you guys left some pretty interesting suggestions. We have a suggestion from SplintaXX who says, make more use of the guns with bipods. There's only one small room where the bipod works, and you have to be covered by a teammate to do it effectively. I agree, we have the bipod in Varrook, but I never quite figured out how to use it and how to use it effectively. I wish we could have more explanation to the bipods and better places where we can camp down a long line of sight with the bipod. I think you're referring to the area where Double Tap is located, and certainly if that was a little bit better where maybe they removed that window, then you could have a far easier time camping with a bipod. Moving on, we have a suggestion from Caleb Kroll who said, replace Mule Kick with Stamina Up. You need to go fast around the map. I would agree. It's like Mule Kick, I don't really use it ever. It's kind of one of those things that I just buy when I run at a quick revive, and even then I don't have much of a use for that extra gun. I would much rather something like Stamina Up, especially when I'm running around the map, tight corners trying to slip away from zombies. Stamina Up would be very useful. We then have a suggestion from Bullfrog who said, add the acid trap into the leaking Thompson room. While I don't know if the Thompson room is the best place to include the acid trap, I think we should include an acid trap. It just feels like it fits. We have this insane asylum where they're trying to control the zombies, and when the zombies get out of control, well then why not use the acid trap? It just seems like a very effective mean of controlling the zombies. We're going to end it with a suggestion from Greg Bialota who says, expand the upstairs balcony area so that the area goes all the way around the opening to the area that was in the World at War multiplayer where the Nazis spawn weapons. Spawn weapons such as the MG42 or Browning could spawn there, and depends on which side you spawn on. The Nazi side gets the MG42 and the American side gets the Browning. I think this is also a pretty cool idea. I would love to be able to buy the MG42 and the Browning off the wall, and just expanding the map to those balconies would also be pretty nice. That's about it for this week's episode of the top 5 ways. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, or favorite. Anything is good. My name's John, and bye.